KILR Killer Game.
Welcome, gamers, simmers, and pilots. I am the KILR Gamer, and welcome back to the tour around the world. Well, sort of, with Microsoft Flight Simulator 3. We're going to go ahead and pull up the ever so famous Flight Simulator map. And Brown Bear has joined the KILR community. Welcome to the KILR community. We have fun here. It's a great community. You'll love it. That's why we call it the KILR community, because everybody's killer. Everybody's killer awesome here. Alright, so this is the Scenery Disk number 9. And we're right here at Muskegon County. And we're going to be flying to Grand Rapids. So we just passed Grand Rapids previously because we were flying from Battle Creek. Well, now we're going back. And why? Well, because that's the top of Scenery Disk number 9. And there is no scenery up there. I think that was supposed to be Scenery Disk number 8. And Scenery Disk number 8 was never made. Which is depressing. Why, Sublogic? Why? Why did you... You only had 2 more scenery disks to make. Why didn't you do it? So, yeah. So, Muskegon is the furthest we're going. By the way, we did all this stuff over here on the left side, or the west side of Lake Michigan. We've done all of this. It's all on YouTube. So, if you're interested in seeing that, it is all there. As well as the other flight simulators. Again, they fly all the same flight path. So, yeah, so we're going to Muskegon, and we're working our way back down. We'll be going down in this direction. And by the time we hit Fort Wayne Municipal, we will continue east into Scenery Disk 11, which will be Ohio, parts of Canada. Yeah, we're talking some fun stuff. Alrighty, let's go ahead and start getting some radios set up here. Let's see, Grand Rapids is sitting at 110.2, which actually I think they have an ILS runway, so 110.2, we'll set that up on nav 2. We will hit this right here. This is a nice feature of Flight Simulator 3. You've got a DME. It looks like it's only for nav 1, but there's a little thing right here that if you click on that or use a keyboard shortcut of B, you can switch it so you see DME for nav 2. So that is a really nice thing. And we will, let's see, what will we do? Let's see. Muskegon's already tuned in. Let's say I'm like looking at the map here to kind of determine a direction. Let's set this to 150 here. Now I can click this, but unfortunately I can't click and hold because it just sits there. And trying to click it individually is kind of a pain in the neck. So what we do is just use the keyboard shortcut, which is V and then 1 and then plus minus, and I can hold that key down and yay, it's a lot easier. So there is that, and that was not the right VOR. It's V2 that we want to do that. No, wait a minute. No, we did it right. We did it right. Nav 2 is where we're going. Okay, so eventually what we're going to be doing is changing VOR number 1, nav 1 to the ILS and landing at the ILS. So, Brown Bear, Has to go. Yes, I understand that because it's the UK. It's 2 a.m. Yeah, it's pretty late. I can understand that. But yes, thank you for coming, and I do look forward to talking to you again soon. Alrighty, everyone. For everyone else that is still with me, let's get flying. Alright. We will start moving here. See, there we go. What do you think? Do you think that's 30 frames per second? Maybe it's 20. It's smooth. This is the wireframe version of Flight Simulator 2020. This is Flight Simulator 2020 without all the textures, without all the terrain, and all the sounds. It seems like we're just crawling across the grass here. I'm like, come on. It's like, get moving, get moving. So yeah, here on this next flight, I'll pick up a few of my other pieces of my Flight Simulator collection, and I'll show you what I got. Oh, here's the end of a runway right here. And I have a few things that I have not done videos on yet. I have Sublogic ATP. I haven't done anything on that one yet. I've got Flight Unlimited 3. I don't have 1 and 2 yet. Those are some that I need to get into my collection. Okay, we got some takeoff flaps on here. Make sure our altimeter is set. Let's make sure that the gyro compass is way off. Now it's not. And trim might be a little too much, but I think we are set to go. So full power. As we hear the nice calming hum effect of our engines. Yeah, turn that volume up and listen to that while trying to sleep. Not going to be the most comforting thing to listen to. And we are airborne! Woo! Look out the back. Which direction are we heading? Oh, let's go fly near the Muskegon Bay for a quick moment, because that's what we did over on the Commodore 64. And we will do the same thing on the later simulators. When we get into this area, we'll be flying over the Muskegon Bay, giving us a chance to see how each simulator displayed this area. And can you imagine what it will look like when I get Flight Simulator 2020 and do the world tour with that and follow the same flight plan? Holy crap, that is just going to be something else. I thought it was great with, I guess we should raise our landing gear. I thought it was great with X-Plane, and that was before the whole Flight Simulator 2020 came out. Ooh. Yeah, so here is Muskegon Bay. We're flying over Muskegon. That's that nice little gray patch that you're seeing over here in the corner. Right there. And we can do some external views here. Let's see if I can... Oh, that didn't work. How does that work? I think I have to... I'm trying to change the camera angle. Nope, that does not do it. Yeah, I thought it might have been scroll lock key, but the minute I hit that, that just puts me back in. I think you just have to change it in the options. I don't think you can... I think you can with Flight Simulator 4, but you can't here. Now, if we take a look, we'll compare this with a real map. Let's take a look at the map display here, which is zoomed in. So there it is. That is Muskegon Bay right there, and then we have, I'm not sure what that is over there, but we will look at that on a real map here in just a moment. That blue line up ahead is the Grand River. Okay, there we go. We can do a little bit of IFR flying here because this interstate and that river is going to lead us to Grand Rapids. Just leveling us out here. All right, let's go ahead and pull up that map like I was talking about. Here we go, satellite map. Here is Muskegon. I don't know why that pulled up, because I probably clicked on something. So here is that Bay Area right here. Here's that other thing that I wasn't sure what it was. It's White Lake. What? Wabaneagle? Wabaningo. I have no idea. But that's what we were seeing on the Flight Simulator map. But I think it's interesting to compare what was done on these old simulators compared to what was done on later simulators. It's interesting from a development perspective of how things develop over the years. And instead of just seeing a generalized video of, well, here's this, here's this, here's this, we have specific flights that we can compare. Okay, 5,000 feet, a little bit more higher than what I really want to be. With the old simulators, I like to be somewhere like 3,000 above ground level. I don't like to fly too high. Of course, this is a Cessna, so yeah, usually you want to kind of fly, well, at least I like to fly a little bit lower in a Cessna. But I got to tell you, my favorite plane is the Bonanza V35 with the V tail. That is my absolute favorite plane to fly. If I were to own a plane, it would be that one. but I'm not rich, and I will never own one. I gotta tell you though, I want to be able to do VR with Flight Sim, and I think it would look amazing with X-Plane. And didn't the developers say that they don't have VR worked out yet for Flight Simulator 2020, but they might later on? That's kind of depressing if they haven't changed their stance on that. But that would be amazing. I mean, that's going to be the closest I will ever get to actually being in the cockpit of an airplane and flying. And you know what? It's totally safe. If you crash into the ground, like I have, at least I can walk away from it. And I think it makes my wife a little bit more happier. Yeah, I would be spending money to get a computer set up for that, but it's cheaper than having a plane and maintaining it and putting gas in it and getting a license and all that other stuff. But if things go wrong, there's still another day. RJP, so you're not going to be getting Flight Sim 2020? Why is that? I'm going to guess, because yeah, you're playing X-Plane, so I'm going to say that it's probably the investment and time that you've put into X-Plane, which is the reason why you may not want to go to it. Am I right on that? Oh, P3D. Oh, it's same thing then. With all the stuff that's out for P3D, now I think they said they were going to try to get it to where some of it works on Flight Sim 2020, but I don't see how, because it looks like it's a whole new engine. It looks like a completely different thing. And trying to use airports for P3D on Flight Simulator 2020 is like trying to use, I don't know, FS9 airports in FS4. It would just look completely out of place. Or, no, I'm sorry, the other way around. Using airports in FS4 in FS2000 or something. It just wouldn't look right. It would look out of place. Yeah, and that is a perfectly good reason. One I definitely understand and can appreciate. I know there are people that have spent hundreds of dollars, and I can totally see why they wouldn't want to get into Flight Sim 2020. For me, I want to do it for mainly because of the World Tour, for one. Also, it kind of looks like it's going to be an all-in-one package, hopefully. The ATC is the thing that I'm wondering about. How the ATC is going to be done, if it's going to have ATC, how well is it going to work? Because pretty graphics and great aerodynamics is one thing, but just when you've had the ATC, even though it has been kind of questionable, in the previous simulators, having a quiet flight, I don't know. It's well, I mean, I'm having a quiet flight now, but but you push things ahead so much, and then you kind of want that experience with air traffic control as well. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. P3D definitely is definitely good. That is for sure. Yeah, and I've had some viewers that have asked me if I fly on VATSIM, I did long ago with FS9, back during its heyday. And for that matter, I did it on Flight Simulator 98 back during CompuServe. Remember that? AOL, America Online, bottom out. I did some. I can't even remember what fly-ins I did, but I know we did some on CompuServe, and then later I did get onto VATSIM with FS9, and I also was in a virtual airline. I was in Delta Virtual Airlines for a bit, and it was fun. But the thing that turned me off about VATSIM is the lack of coverage. When you have those fly-in events and they've got full ATC coverage, that is just absolutely awesome. But if you're just flying online to fly online, when you're not getting that full ATC coverage, it just bothers me. Because I want to have that coverage. I don't want to be on multicom for most of the flight. You know, I want to be able to talk to center and talk to approach and departure and stuff. I like getting that experience. And I use different ATC programs. So I have sometimes I'll use the default ATC, which what I like about the default ATC is it sounds a little bit more I don't want to say personalized, but actually like it names the airport, you know, flying from here to here or whatever. Whereas on the ATC programs, it just gives you the ICAO code mostly. But so I'll use the default ATC sometimes. Sometimes I use ProFlight Emulator. Other times I will use Radar Contact. And I've also used Vox ATC, which then actually gives me the ability to interact with the ATC, even though it is, you know, computer controlled, but I can actually talk to it. And then they're like, they don't understand what I say, so they're like, say again. And I'm like, Foxtrot 1354. I have to like speak a lot more clearer so they can understand. America Online, almost online. That's funny. When I was on CompuServe for a while, I remember some people saying to me, why don't you get real internet? Well, CompuServe was, you know, I logged into it, and it was just kind of like a nice little home page and stuff, and then I could jump onto the internet from there. So, we like totally missed our turn here. So it worked out for me. But then when America Online bought it, that was the breaking point for me. I did not want to go to America Online. I didn't want that experience. I wound up getting the cable internet and never looked back since. Okay, so... Oh, we're not too far, of course. Okay, that's right. We're looking at this right here. So, we're going at a good angle. Let's pull up our map, or at least I'm pulling up the map over onto the side here, because I want to look at the ILS, which is runway 8 right, and 108.3. Ooh, it's making some weird sounds there. Okay, so we're 17 16.9 miles from the airport. Runway 8. The comm radio is 118.8. Let's just see what ATIS has to say. Speak to us, ATIS. Maybe not. It's 118.85. All right. Oh, come on. 118.85. Are we not close enough to get an ATIS message? Come on. All right, we'll just leave that on there, I guess. Maybe it'll tune in when we get to about 10 miles. Ooh. View of the approach into the Manchester 23 right arrivals is what RJP is saying. Let me level this out here a little bit, and we'll take a look at that so everyone can see what RJP is doing. Oh, no freaking way. Is that X-Plane? That can't be X-Plane. Come on. That looks freaking real. That looks real. Holy crap. That is amazing. Oh, that's real from the front window at your home. Okay. I was going to say, if that's your simulator, I'm like, wow. I've seen some stuff on YouTube, though, of people's videos, and they're just amazing looking. FedEx, I need to do... Actually, I did do a FedEx flight, but I did it with a... It was a FedEx Cessna or General Aviation or something. I think I did it on Flight Simulator 5. Okay, I'm going to drop some flaps here. Well, we're not... It looks like we're going fast, but looking at the airspeed, it doesn't seem too bad. But, I don't know. Let's drop some flaps. Let's slow down a little bit. Okay, so this is Grand Rapids, folks. We got the Grand River. There's a little blue line going right in here. This road is an interstate. Not sure which interstate. Let me see here. Grand Rapids. Oh, you're pretty big there. That might be 196 or 131. It's considering this is going that way. No, I don't think that's 131. I think that's Interstate 196 because it's heading back to Lake Michigan over here. All right, keeping an eye on our instruments here. This is our ILS tuned in. I'm going to try to low this out here at 3,000 and keep us there until we hook up with the glide slope. Oh, wow. I bet that's something else. Watching a A319, A320, and an A321 in formation. Oh, wow. I bet that would be neat to see. There's our airport. And I got a feeling I better turn now. Otherwise, we may have a relatively sharp turn to do later. There's our glide slope. It's moving. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant on P3D. I did a flight on an A320, but it was on an older simulator, and I can't remember which one. I think it was Flight Simulator 2000 that I did it on, because I have this collection called Airport 2000. And I think one of them came with an A320. All right. Whoa! I didn't mean to do that. I need to synchronize our gyro compass there. Okay, I don't think that ILS is correct. Because it's, according to this, we should be at 084 already, but that's not what it looks like with the runway in front of us. It still looks like we're off to the left. But at least we can use the glide slope indicator. RJP's got another screenshot. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. Bring our landing gear down. Yeah, look at that. That needle is nowhere close to 8 right at all. I don't know where that's going. It actually worked out pretty decently for the Commodore 64 flight simulator, but on this one, it seems very off. And you can tell, look at our heading, 8.5. There's the runway right there, so visually we're lined up. IFR-wise, we're not. And it is 8 right, not 8 left. I did double check that. Okay, I think we need another thing of flaps. Trying to get us on a good descent here. And trying to get us lined up also. It's like I'm looking at the jagged lines. Sometimes it looks like you're lined up, and then once you get closer, you realize you're not lined up. Because I have to kind of look closely and notice that there's like a line that seems to be moving over this way, suggesting that I'm off to the side. It's really tricky. No engine sound, but at least we can hear this wonderful marker beacon sound. While we listen to the wonderful sound, here is the picture that RJP wanted to share about the formation that he was flying on P3D with a couple of others. And that is super, super cool. And the fact that they're all Airbuses, too. And would you say it was a A319? Yeah, A319, A320, and an A321. So now we need to see a formation of like a 747, did they make a 757? I don't know. A 767 and a 777. Okay, we are totally off our glide slope. I guess we better get back on that glide slope. I mean, from here, it doesn't look like we're on a bad descent, but then again, can we trust that? Can we trust what that instrument is telling us? Because the horizontal indicator definitely is not right. Keeping an eye on our airspeed. Probably should bring down one more thing of flaps here. RJP says he's got the PMDG 737, 747, 777, and the 757 Captain Sim, but the Virtual Airlines they're creating doesn't have Boeings currently. Ooh, we are a little too high. All right, let's fix that. I do have a PMDG plane, actually. I got it for Flight Simulator 9 because it was cheap. It was affordable. And because I've been wanting to get some add-ons and stuff for FS9. And I did a video with it, and actually FS9 still looks pretty good. For its age, it still looks very decent. And on machines nowadays, you can get some fantastic frame rates. If you don't, have a high-speed computer. But yeah, I've got some graphical enhancements for FS9, which I think it looks really good. Middle marker. Will we get an inner marker? That's the question. I always get excited when there's an inner marker because they don't seem to happen very often. Let's see if we can land a little better this time. Like land the way we're supposed to. Which is technically with the power off. And trying not to stall. That was probably rough. It's really hard to try to land this the same way as on the modern simulators where you can just come right down. Because on the older simulators, when you stall, what it wants to do is, oh, you're stalling. Well, let's just take the nose and aim it straight down to the ground. Let's see here. There is a fuel box over here, I think. Yep, there it is. And I forget, did this one have taxiways? I think these had lines too. Line. Let's see. Yep, that looks exactly like the Commodore 64 version. And this one's got 2 fuel boxes, which I thought was relatively interesting. So there's one over here, but there's another one over here. So far, I think this is the only airport where I've seen 2 fuel boxes. Well, we went to the one over to the left on the Commodore 64. So let's utilize this other fuel box. Do something a little different. Okay, so I think our taxiways are outlined in black. Something tells me that's not going to get us to the fuel box. Well, we'll just kind of cruise across the green grass. I'm sure they won't mind. See, this is Grand Rapids Airport before they added buildings. See, you didn't know that back in the late 80s, 90s, that airports did not used to have buildings. They would just run, park in the grass, and people would get out. Buildings? Who needs buildings? We don't need buildings. Buildings are like signs. They block up the scenery. Ooh, there's a line. You get a line, I'll get a pole. We'll go down to the fishing hole. I'm sure there's one over here in Grand Rapids. Ooh, and there's a shadow. Oh, no, it's not a shadow. Never mind. It's just pavement, that's all it is. And there we are. We are stopped here on the fuel box. Anyways, I want to thank everyone who's been tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for my Twitch followers who've been following me on the live stream. And remember, you too can also be part of the live streams. It's KILR, or it's twitch.tv/KILRgamer. Be sure to head over there right now. What are you waiting for? Head on over there, follow me, and then that way you'll get notified when I go online with the stream. And then you will get to see, as I'm recording these episodes ahead of time, you'll be able to get to see all this before I turn them into episodes. I used to record these offline. Now I'm recording them and streaming at the same time, which gives all of you a chance to see it early and interact with me and be a part of the show. And that's pretty cool. So head over there to Twitch and follow. And as far as YouTube right here, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that way you know the next time I upload a video, because I upload videos all the time. And then there's social media, there's Twitter, there is Instagram. All those links are there in my YouTube banner in one of those corners somewhere. But yeah, I want to appreciate all of you for watching. Be sure to thumbs up and give this as many likes as you can, and leave some comments. I appreciate all of you. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you on the next leg of our journey.